And welcome back to the Aramco Group studio here at UTTV. Now, I don't know whether you've noticed, but winemaking in this county has exploded. The number of wineries has exploded. One of the really growing areas of San Diego County is the Ramona area. And with us, a couple of guys that are going to talk all about this. And John York here from Hellanback, and Alex McGreary from Shadow Mountain.
Shadow Mountain Vineyards.
Where are you at Shadow Mountain?
We are up in Warner Springs, which is really the post office of a region, but I'm located on Sunshine Summit,
okay,
which is on the backside of Palomar Mountain at 3,500 feet.
And that's good grape growing area.
And that's a wonderful grape growing area.
For what kind of grape?
Well, for warm climate Rhone varieties, white and red, as well as cold climate grape varieties such as Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Cabernet Sauvignon, all the Bordeaux varieties.
Wow. All right, well, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Now, John is here as well, talking about Hellanback. Now, Hellanback Ranch is where?
It's in Ramona. It's off the old Julian Highway.
There you go.
And we're about 2,000 feet, so a little bit lower than Alex.
What are you growing?
Same kind of grapes. All the county is warm weather grapes. So southern French, southern Italian, those types of grapes.
Now, is the soil, what is the key ingredient here? What makes Ramona and this area around it, and the soil that's common to yours, what makes it so good?
Well, first of all, there's a lot of decomposed granite, which promotes good drainage for grapevine roots. And you need that if the roots get wet on valley floors and stay wet, the vine will die. So watering is important, and they're actually stingy water users as plants.
Yeah, you want to stress them at some point in time,
yeah,
right?
And so stress is all part of the nature.
Right.
When I plant a vineyard, I say, welcome to the orphanage. and it's kind of a tough love.
This is a tough love situation. I can hear it coming. All right, so how many? It seems to me these things are just exploding like mushrooms, these wineries. How many of them do we have now?
We have 91 wineries in the county of San Diego.
Wow.
From the Mexican border down around Campo, urban wineries in city limits, to up in the North County, North Central County where we are, we have 5 and soon to have 7.
And it's not, this is not new. I mean, as you were talking before, this is a resurrection basically of an industry that was here before what, Prohibition?
It's a Renaissance industry. And before Prohibition, there were about 35 wineries in the county. But this is the first county in the United States where grapes from the old world were brought by the Spanish missionaries in the 1700s. So it's a long time ago, and I'm a product of the Southern California wine industry. I've been in it for 41 years, and I'm extremely proud and happy to see what's going on here.
So great. All right, Alex, I'm already getting thirsty.
Okay.
Because I think we need to pour some of your magnificent wines here and take a little taste of them, because again, I want to introduce our audience to the fact that they don't have to go all the way to Napa or even to Temecula at this point. You can go right here in San Diego.
Stay right here in the county. That's like going to Napa on a half a tank of gas.
There you go.
And so wine number 1, Roger, I'd like to have you try is my 2011 Viognier, a Southern French Rhone variety.
Right.
Took a gold medal with it at the first San Diego County professional competition, commercial wine competition last year.
Wow.
And it was so successful that, this is a plug, I'm sorry, but I'm a businessman, but the San Diego Zoo and the Safari Park bought 4 of my wines, and this is one of them.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And
that's great. Well, we'll swig a little bit.
Little swig of Viognier, and thank you.
And we'll do this.
It's a cold ferment stainless steel production winery.
Okay.
Never has touched oak.
Yep.
And that's really a new world preference.
Yep.
In the old world, this would have been fermented in older neutral oak barrels.
Yep.
I feel like you shouldn't be left out here.
You know, that is delightful. That is delightful.
Thank you.
And you can, you know what I equate that wine with is a sunny afternoon on my porch.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, and a little bit of spread, maybe a little barbecue, the kids around. And this is a light, fruity,
very fruity,
really nice wine. So, what have you brought us, John?
Well, I think the next best wine to have in the progression of the wines that we're going to try is our is our rosé. Rosés have been making a comeback in the United States because winemakers are starting to make it correctly now. You know, rosé.
What do you mean correctly?
Well, in
sound like a critic of the earlier way.
Well, many years ago, rosé was introduced as white Zinfandel, and it was off dry, or had a sweetness to it, and that's why the French started making fun of us, saying that we made soda pop wine over here in the United States.
Yep.
But this is made in the so-called French style, so it's dry.
And what is the French style?
Well, just dry.
Okay.
Dry.
And
I do this also in stainless steel, just like I would a white wine.
Okay. Okay.
And I call this a picnic wine, good with ham sandwiches and baked beans.
That's what I'm thinking. I think this is good. This again is another way you could just go and have a good time with that.
You know, and like John, he follows the French because they really hold the bar in the wine industry of the world, and they started to redevelop and introduce dry rosé wines about 10 years ago now.
That's dry. And
the marketplace is responding to lighter wines, and that's good. That's good.
How long have you been making wine?
It's only since about 2005. I haven't been in it as long as Alex has.
How did you decide to get into the winemaking business? Because in Napa they tell me the story that to make a small fortune out of the winemaking business, you have to start with a large one. What drove you into this?
Well, I got invited to pick grapes at one of the local wineries, and they had plenty of pickers. So a guy named Bill Jenkin, who was one of the founders of the Ramona Valley Vineyard Association, asked me to come into the winery and help him. And just kind of caught the bug, and I've been making wine ever since.
That's all it took. It's as easy as that, isn't it? Yeah. You start making wine, and you start liking it, and you start doing something that pleases people. Because what this is and you were talking about the foods that go with. This is how I judge wine, is how well does it go with the foods I love.
Indeed, that's the bottom line. It's a food beverage, and it really has to be complementary.
Exactly, and so I think both of these have a tremendous future in terms of food pairings, like you were just starting to talk about. Now, do you have tasting rooms? I know you do, Alex.
Yes, I do. I have a tasting room right on the winery property, and really the classic concept of a winery is to vertically integrate the agricultural economy, the manufacturing economy,
right,
and the marketing and retailing economy together.
And you're retailing these wines. You mentioned the Wild
And I
Animal Park
retail
and so
these
forth.
wines 95% direct to the consumer out of my tasting room.
Okay.
Via people who visit the winery and wine club members who have been there, and I distribute nationally.
How many cases a year?
I do about 1,800 cases a year. My goal is 25. So.
Yeah. And how about that, John? What kind of volume are you getting out of this winery?
We're much smaller. We're a boutique winery, so I do around 450 cases a year.
And how do you distribute them? Just for people who sign up to your wine club, or how does it work?
It's just people who come to the winery. We do have limited distribution to retail outlets like the San Vicente Country Club up in Ramona, and also a couple of the casinos.
The locals.
The locals.
The locals are appreciating the local wine. I love that. Because when you go to Europe, and I'll never ask for a brand name when I walk into a little place in Italy. I'll always ask, what are you drinking and what do you have here? Because you know the local is going to be as good as anything they could serve you at 5 times the price. Right. And I think this is where you're going with this.
Well, and I think that's the storyline that the San Diego County wine industry wants to develop, is this regional quality. That's how the Europeans drink wine.
Right.
And because of that, we can be very careful on what we grow well what grows here, and make it well.
That's fantastic. Well, you guys, thanks for coming in. Thanks for offering to share the wonderful wines of the Ramona area, and wonderful to find out here that we're resurrecting an industry and even making it better than it was before.
Making it a lot better.
A lot better. So listen, folks, get out to the Ramona area, go by these wineries, and spend Sunday. I'm Roger Hedgecock. Thanks for listening.